Hello! I am Teacher Aubrey and welcome back to my channel. In today's video lesson, we are going to discuss the difference and uses of the words will and would. Let's get started. Will and would are modal verbs in the English grammar, and we are also calling them as helpers or helping verbs na kung saan ay may kasunod sila na main action verb. Kaya sila tinawag na helping verb because they help the main action verb to express its thought. Gayun din, ginagamit itong modal verbs na will and would to talk about the tense of the main action verb. Aside from that, they also have a lot of different uses. They have similarities as well as differences. Let's talk about them. Unahin natin ang salitang will. The first usage of will is for expressing certainty or belief. O kapag gusto nating ipahayag na sigurado tayo o matibay ang paniniwala natin na mangyayari yung isang bagay. Tingnan natin itong halimbawang pangungusap. The laundry will be dry now. The laundry will be dry now. Gumamit tayo ng modal verb na will dahil sigurado tayo na yung nilabhan ay matutuyo ngayon. Ginagamit din ang modal verb na will to express certainty or belief in the present and in the future. Sa pangungusap natin na the laundry will be dry now, gumamit tayo ng time expression na now dahil yung certainty or strong belief natin na matutuyo yung labada ay mangyayari ngayon. Another example. We will arrive in Tokyo at 9 a.m. Ginamitan natin ito ng modal verb na will dahil sigurado tayo, we are certain na lalapag yung eroplano sa Tokyo, Japan at exactly 9 a.m. Last example. It will rain tomorrow. It will rain tomorrow. In this sentence, we use the modal verb will because we have the strong belief. We are certain that it will rain tomorrow. Na uulan bukas. Bakit? Marahil narinig natin sa weather forecast, kaya sigurado tayo. Again, the first usage of the modal verb will is to express certainty or strong belief in the present and in the future. The second usage of the modal verb will is for discussing intentions and willingness. Again, for discussing intentions and willingness. Ginagamit natin ang will kapag gusto nating ipahayag na willing tayong gawin ang isang bagay o kapag ipinapahayag yung intensyon. From the word itself, will, willing tayong gawin ang isang bagay in the present and in the future. Narito ang mga halimbawang pangungusap. Mary says she will visit us today. Mary says she will visit us today. Ang ginamit natin dito ay ang modal verb na will. Ginamit natin ang will dahil ipinahayag natin na willing si Mary na dalawin tayo ngayong araw. Ipinahayag dito yung willingness ng ating subject na si Mary. Another example, I will finish my homework tonight. Ang ginamit pa rin natin dito ay ang modal verb na will kung saan ipinahayag dito yung willingness, yung kusang loob at kagustuhan mismo nung nagsasalita na gagawin niya yung kanyang takdang aralin mamaya. So, that is a future time. That is an intention and willingness in the future. The third one is we use the modal verb will when we are making promises or offers. Kapag tayo ay nangangako o nag-aalok ng tulong. Narito ang mga halimbawang pangungusap. We will pick Sarah up from the airport. O susunduin natin si Sarah sa airport. So, that one expresses a promise. Nangako ka na susunduin si Sarah sa airport. You expressed a promise in that sentence. Another example is this. I will bring you a coffee. I will bring you a coffee. In this sentence, ginamit natin ang modal verb na will to express an offer to someone. Nag-alok ka, nadadalhan mo siya ng kape. Another one, ginagamit din natin ang modal verb na will to make requests. O kapag tayo ay hihingi ng pabor, magre-request tayo. This is the example sentence. Will you come to the hospital with me? Will you come to the hospital with me? Pwede ka bang pumunta sa hospital kasama ko? Ginamit natin dyan ang modal verb na will to show request o para manghingi ng pabor. The next usage of the modal verb will is when we are expressing conditionals and hypotheticals. Kanina, nabanggit natin sa unang gamit ng will na ito ay ina-apply kapag gusto nating sabihin na tayo ay sigurado o matibay yung paniniwala natin sa isang bagay sa kasalukuyan o sa hinaharap. Given yung bagay na yon. Pero, ang isa pang gamit nitong modal verb na will ay kapag gusto nating tumukoy sa isang kondisyon na kung saan magaganap ang isang bagay sa hinaharap kapag na-meet yung isang kondisyon o pangyayari. Narito ang halimbawa. If the traffic is okay, we will leave there by noon. If the traffic is okay, we will leave there by noon. O gusto mong sabihin na kapag naging maluwag ang daloy ng trapiko, alis kayo doon pagsapit ng tanghali. Nagkaroon dyan ng isang sitwasyon, sinabi na kapag na-meet o nangyari yung sitwasyon na yun, kapag naging maayos yung daloy ng trapiko, nangyayari pa lang yung nasabing kondisyon o pangyayari sa hinaharap. At yun nga yung aalis sila sa lugar na iyon. Another example, unless he studies every day, he will fail the exam. Unless he studies every day, he will fail the exam. Sa halimbawa nating ito ay mayroong isang sitwasyon na tinutukoy unless he studies every day. Maliban na lang kung nag-aaral siya araw-araw, pero hindi eh. Kaya naman, babagsak siya sa kanyang pagsusuli. Those are our examples expressing conditionals and hypotheticals. And the last usage of the modal verb will is when we are expressing habitual or typical behaviors o kapag gusto nating tumukoy sa mga kilos na palaging ginagawa or habitual actions. Example sentence. He will always talk about his family for the days given half the chance. Another example. She will always turn on the television as soon as she gets home. She will always turn on the television as soon as she gets home. O gusto mong sabihin na kasanayan niya na ginagawa niyang palagi ang pagbubukas sa television tuwing makakarating siya o makakauwi sa kanilang bahay.
When the subject is pronoun, sometimes we just contract or shorten it. I will becomes I'll. You will becomes you'll. He will becomes he'll. She will becomes she'll. They will becomes they'll. It will becomes it'll. We will becomes we'll. And they will becomes they'll. To have the negative form of the modal verb will, we just have to add the word not after the word will. It will be will not plus the verb in its base form. Examples: will not attend, will not watch, will not sleep. Also, we can use the shortened form of it or the contraction form. It will be won't. Again, won't plus the verb in its base form. Examples: won't attend, won't watch, won't sleep. In one of our examples, we use the question form of the modal verb will. To have one, we just have to use the following patterns: will plus the subject plus the verb in its base form. Example: will you come to the hospital with me? Yan yung ginamit nating halimbawa kanina. Kapag naman negative form, just follow this pattern. We have will plus the subject plus the word not plus the verb in its base form. Example: will you not come to the hospital with me? And we can also use the shortened form or the contraction form of the words will not. We have won't plus the subject plus the verb in its base form. Example: won't you come to the hospital with me? Let's have a quick summary on how we can use the modal verb will. Firstly, we use it when we are expressing certainty and strong belief. Second, we can use it when we are discussing intentions and willingness. Third, when we are making promises, offers, and requests. Fourth, when we are expressing conditionals and hypotheticals. And the last usage is when we are expressing habitual or typical behaviors.
This time, pag-usapan naman natin ang iba't ibang gamit ng modal verb na would. Marami itong pagkakapareho sa modal verb na will, pero may mga pagkakaibang dapat nating tandaan. Ang unang gamit ay to express certainty or strong belief. Tulad sa will, magagamit ito pag gustong ipahayag yung kasiguruhan o yung matibay na paniniwalang mangyayari ang isang bagay, pero sa nakaraang panahon. Expressing certainty or strong belief in the past. Here are the example sentences. I thought the laundry would be dry now. So in this sentence, ang atin pong action verb ay thought, which is in the past form. Kaya nangangahulugan na tapos na yung kilos. Tapos na yung pagpapahayag mo dun sa bagay na naisip mo na sa tingin mo mangyayari. So that's already in the past, kaya ang ginamit natin ay would. I thought that the laundry would be dry now. Another example. We would have arrived at 9 a.m., but the train was late. We would have arrived at 9 a.m., but the train was late. Ito sa pangungusap na ito, sinabi mo na darating sana kayo. Naniwala ka, ipinahayag mo na sigurado kang darating sana kayo ng 9 a.m. or ng alas 9 ng umaga kung hindi lang na-late o nahuli yung tren. So that's a certainty or a strong belief in the past. The next usage of the modal verb would is when we would like to express past intentions o kapag gusto nating tumukoy sa intensyon sa nakaraang panahon o yung intensyon na tapos na, nangyari na ipahayag na dati. These are the example sentences. Mary said she would visit us. Mary said she would visit us. So, napansin niyo ang ginamit na verb dyan ay said. Ibig sabihin, nasabi na ni Mary, tapos na. Kaya ang ginamit ay would. Pero yung purpose pa rin ng modal verb sa pangungusap ay para ipahayag yung intensyon ni Mary sa nakaraang panahon na gusto niyang dumalaw sa atin. Another example. My dog would not stop barking. My dog would not stop barking. Yung aso ko, alam ko dahil kilala ko yan, aso ko, na intensyon niya talaga. Sinasadya ng aso ko na hindi tumigil sa kakatahol dahil nga mayroong dumating na hindi niya kakilala. Pero nangyari yun dati. That's a past intention of the dog. The next usage of the modal verb would is for making requests. Just like in the modal verb will. Pareho silang pwedeng gamitin when we are making requests. Pero tandaan, ang kaibahan lang ng would sa will, it is more formal, it is more polite, and more indirect. O hindi masyadong direkta pakinggan, mas magalang pakinggan, pero parehong tama. Ang maisasuggest ko lang, pwede niyong gamitin ng would kapag ang kausap ninyo ay yung superior ninyo, yung katrabaho ninyo, o yung mas mataas ang posisyon sa inyo para mas magalang pakinggan. Here's the example sentence. Would you pass the salt, please? Would you pass the salt, please? Pwede mo bang ipasa yung asin? Pakiusap. In English grammar, in the English context, mas magalang po pakinggan kapag would ang ating ginamit. Another usage of the modal verb would is for expressing conditionals and hypotheticals. Kahit tulad din sa modal verb na will, ginagamit ito kapag yun ang gustong ipahayag for conditionals and hypotheticals o kapag sigurado ka sa tingin mo mangyayari yung isang bagay sa hinaharap. Pero, eto namang would ay ginagamit pa rin natin sa kaparehong purpose. Pero, gagamitin na siya kapag yung sa palagay nating mangyayari ay imaginary o pang-imahinasyon lang, hahangga lang sa imahinasyon natin dahil most likely na hindi siya magkakatotoo. Okay? Sa imagination lang natin. Here are the example sentences. If no one ever won the lottery, people would stop buying tickets. O hindi ba? Parang very imaginative tayo sa part na yon. Kasi imposible naman talagang walang tataya sa mga lottery such as Lotto at iba pang kahalintulad nito. Kaya, imaginary lang yung sitwasyon na binigay natin. Na people would stop buying tickets. And last example is, it would be sad if we had to leave this city. The next usage is for habitual and typical behaviors. Katulad din sa will. Pero, yung habitual or typical behavior na tinutukoy dito sa paggamit ng would ay yung mga nakasanayang gawin o mga kinasanayang kilos sa nakaraan. O tapos na. Here are the example sentences. Before the Industrial Revolution, people would weave textiles by the hand. Before the Industrial Revolution, people would weave textiles by the hands. So, bago pa raw nangyari yung Industrial Revolution. Kung napag-aralan ninyo sa history, ang mga tao dati ay kamay lang yung ginagamit sa pagtatahi ng mga textiles. Kamay lang yung ginagamit dati. Another example. When I lived in Japan, I would take the train to work. When I lived, so that's already in the past, nung nakatira ako dati sa Japan, ang karaniwang ginagawa ko ay sumasakay ako sa tren patungo sa trabaho. So we used would because that is a habitual or typical behavior, typical action in the past. And the last usage is we are using the modal verb would when we are giving a reported speech o yung gusto nating banggitin uli yung isang bagay na sinabi ng isang tao o narinig natin. Narito ang halimbawang pangungusap. Halimbawa, sinabi ng kaibigan mo sa'yo na, I will be here at 8 o'clock. Sa'yo mismo sinabi ng kaibigan mo, I will be here at 8 o'clock. Yun yung mismong sinabi, I will be here at 8 o'clock. At ikaw naman, kinuwento mo sa akin na pupunta yung kaibigan mo o makakarating yung kaibigan mo pagsapit ng alas 8 ng gabi. Ganito ang sasabihin mo ngayon. She told me that she would be here at 8 o'clock. Gumamit ka na ng salitang would kasi naging reported speech na. Hindi na siya quoted line. Hindi na binanggit yung direktang sinabi nung unang pinanggalingan nung linya na I will be here at 8 o'clock. Binanggit mo na, nirephrase mo na kasi ikinwento mo na yung sinabi sa'yo. So it became, she said or she told that she would be here at 8 o'clock. That's a reported speech.
When the subject is pronoun, sometimes we just contract or shorten it. I would becomes I'd. You would becomes you'd. He would becomes he'd. She would becomes she'd. They would becomes they'd. It would becomes it'd. We would becomes we'd. And they would becomes they'd. To have the negative form of the modal verb would, we just have to add the word not after would. It will be would not plus the verb in its base form. Examples: would not attend, would not watch, would not sleep. Also, we can have the contraction form or the shortened form of the words would and not. It will be wouldn't. Wouldn't plus the verb in its base form. Examples: wouldn't attend, wouldn't watch, and wouldn't sleep. When you'd like to ask using the modal verb would to have the question form, just follow these patterns. Would plus the subject plus the verb in its base form. Example: would you come to the hospital with me? Next is asking using the modal verb would in negative question form. Would plus the subject plus the word not plus the verb in its base form. Example: would you not come to the hospital with me? And lastly, use the contraction or the shortened form of the words would and not. It will be wouldn't plus the subject plus the verb in its base form. Example: wouldn't you come to the hospital with me? Let's have a quick summary on how we can use the modal verb would. Firstly, we can use it for expressing certainty or strong belief. Second, we can use it when we are expressing past intentions. Third is for making requests. It is more formal, more polite, and more indirect than the modal verb will. The fourth usage is for expressing conditionals and hypotheticals. The fifth one is for expressing habitual or typical behaviors. And the last usage is when we are giving a reported speech.
This time, it's your turn. Try to put your answers and your score in our comment section below.
I didn't expect that I failed the test. The correct answer is would. I didn't expect that I would fail the test. I call you when dinner is ready. The correct answer is will. I will call you when dinner is ready. I promise I quit smoking. The correct answer is will. I promise I will quit smoking. My teacher said she watched my performance. The correct answer is would. My teacher said she would watch my performance. You come to the cinema with me? The correct answers are both will and would. Would you come to the cinema with me? Or will you come to the cinema with me? It depends on which mood we would like to appear. If we would like to sound more polite, indirect, and formal, use would.
I hope you find this video helpful. If you do so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Yes, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And you may send super thanks to show support on my contents. And I would like to invite you to support me on my second YouTube channel in which I do vlogs together with my family. It is Aubrey and Family Lifestyle TV. And you may also support my little sister as she shares her study tips as well as English video lessons on her YouTube channel. The name of her channel is IamMyles Bermudez. And before we end, let me motivate you na anuman po ang inyong mga edad, estado sa buhay o narating sa buhay. Kung mayroon kayong mga pangarap, wala pong imposible basta lagi lamang pagsisikapan at pagsasanayan. See you on my next videos! Bye!